How many times have you seen a movie that either inspired you or simply made you think deeply? Some films trigger people so heavily that it nearly forces them to take action. That was just a short scene from Flachlipa Grand Prix. And according to supercar design legend Christian von Koenigsegg, he would have been a completely different person without it. At the early age of 8 years old, Koenigsegg's automotive journey began. He was already a seasoned race car driver in his local go-kart circuit, but the passion didn't die there. According to him, it was some of the most impactful times of his life. For Christian, the need for speed was always reinforced with the passion for craftsmanship. His first attempts at engine tuning and design started with rundown mopeds. He spent a ton of time modifying and rebuilding, so much that within a few months, he had an entire fleet of finely tuned motorcycles and mopeds for sale. Word spread fast about Koenigsegg's work, and in no time he became the go-to guy for tuned mopeds and motorcycles. While making money hand over fist, he knew at the same time that he had a passion for design, but he wanted to go bigger. Simply put, he wanted his own brand, and he wanted to be known for making some of the most incredible performance cars in the world. What could he possibly do to secure enough funding to bring his vision to life? You guessed it, sell frozen chicken. During this process of trying to secure funding, he ended up making a fortune from the chicken business. I'm talking so much money that by 1994, he finally had enough funds to go ahead and kick off the Koenigsegg Motor Company. Now, this is just one phase of the mission. Just because you have a ton of money doesn't automatically mean that you're going to become an automotive legend. After all, at that point in time, the true legends in the industry had a tight grip on the automotive hype. The only real way for Koenigsegg to gain recognition and massive attention was to design what didn't yet exist. A combination of speed, agility, and a hardtop carbon fiber convertible roof. There was a reason this concept didn't exist yet. At the time, the technology and the thought process weren't up to speed the way that they are today. But Christian von Koenigsegg was. He figured with all that chicken money, there was no way he couldn't build a perfect team of designers and engineers to bring his beast to life. And he wanted it done in a mind-blowing 1 year's time.
Looking back at that, that was, of course, insanity.
Which to this day is still nearly impossible for startup brands to accomplish. But here comes 1996, and the Koenigsegg team has been putting in work. And from all the constant grinding, the Koenigsegg CC was born. And just like he planned, it was an absolute showstopper. But more hard work was needed, as it took a few years for even one of these things to sell. And by then, it was called the CC8S, which was a lightweight mid-engine beast that was ready to make its first appearance at the Geneva Motor Show. And at this point, it's pretty much safe to say that Koenigsegg was on fire. No, literally, it was on fire. The entire factory caught on fire just one day before the motor show, causing an absolute pandemonium. I'm sure he was more than thankful for loyal employees because staffers stayed behind to secure all vehicles and make sure that they were safe. Christian used those flames for motivation because shortly after its premiere, the CC8S went on to become the most powerful production car in the world, packing an insane 655 horsepower. Now, it's worth noting that at this time, Koenigsegg had some issues producing their own engine for earlier examples, so they borrowed a modular V8 powertrain from Ford, gave it a supercharger, and wrapped it up in the aerodynamic body of the CC8S, giving it a top speed of over 240 miles per hour. Even Clarkson fell in love with this thing.
Is this the most boring supercar in the world? No.
2004 comes rolling around and the CCR makes its first appearance, stealing the crown from its predecessor with 805 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds, making it the fastest production car on the planet. Still riding the wave from breaking all those records, it's 2006 and time to drop another supercar, this time in the USA, the CCX and its green variant, the CCXR. And guess what? Another record was broken, this time at the Top Gear track when it clocked speeds of over 190 miles per hour. A beautiful lead into the CCXR Trevita, which was an automotive marvel, and the first special edition supercar to have a diamond-coated carbon fiber body. Sadly, due to technical difficulties, only 2 of these were produced, but they still made their mark within the industry. Now it's 2010, and Koenigsegg is ready for its biggest release yet, the Agera. This thing was an absolute beast, and the theme was all new everything. New front track, new aerodynamics, and a newly designed interior. All this was attached to a brand new 5-liter turbocharged V8 engine that produced an insane 910 horsepower. The Agera was hands down Christian's most prized possession, but in typical Koenigsegg fashion, there was no sigh of relief, only the hunger for more speed and more performance. And this mindset gave birth to the Koenigsegg 1:1. With a 1:1 power to weight ratio and a top speed of 273 miles per hour, taking the title of the most exclusive production car in the industry and literally causing Bugatti to shake in their boots. It's 2017 and it's officially the last year for the Agera's production. And to really go out with a bang, can you guess what they decided to do? You guessed it, break another record, taking the Agera up to a verified 284 miles per hour. More and more models came into play as the years went by, but one thing is for sure, respect isn't given, it's earned. And if you ever have doubts in your goals, just look to Christian von Koenigsegg. Smash that subscribe and see you soon.